How's everybody feeling? Good? All right, awesome. Big deep breath in. Big deep breath out. That's a Mark LeBlancism, and I love it. How many of you have worked with Mark LeBlanc? Awesome. Austin, can we put up the Zoom participants? I want to see too, even on Zoom, those of you who are joining us virtually, give me a thumbs up or an emoji if you've had the opportunity to work alongside Mark LeBlanc. You guys will find it down there, your little reaction. So good, yay, I love it. Oh, look at all the hearts there, awesome. So I'm here today alongside Allison and Laura. I'll have you ladies join me on stage to share with you a little bit about who Mark LeBlanc is to me, who Mark LeBlanc is to Allison, and who Mark LeBlanc is for Laura. Are you feeling right now like you have a ton of amazing things that you need to get started on Monday morning? Anybody else feeling that? It's only been a half a day. It's only been a half a day. We have another, remainder of today, all day tomorrow, and then Saturday. You're going to walk away at the end of this weekend with incredible amounts of information and tasks that you are going to want to start implementing into your business, things that maybe you didn't even think of. Like, how many of you are starting to think about writing a book? Anybody? Yeah. And those things are daunting tasks. But one thing that Laura Hatch said during the panel is that you're not alone. You're not the only person here who has these same challenges. I love hearing myself, and I love hearing my own echo, too. Thank you so much, Laura. I do. Like any speaker, I love the sound of my own voice. So thank you. I think there's an opportunity for us to take a step back and recognize that we're not alone, and that there are people there to help support us, whether that's a virtual assistant to help us optimize what we're doing from an opt-in network, or a designer to help us with our social media. For many of us, I think the challenge has been, where do I start? How do I focus? And how do I create a layer of accountability? And for me, that accountability has been in working with Mark LeBlanc. So I started working with Mark about 2 years ago when I knew that there were things that I needed to do in my business, and I knew I wanted to get there, but I didn't know how to get there. And I didn't know the resources or the aspects within my business that I needed to use to be able to get there. There's a season for everything. And Laura Hatch said it beautifully when she said, there's a point in time in your business where you're going to be doing everything. Is anybody there right now where you're doing everything? Like literally social media, writing your own blog posts, posting your own things, crying into your own pillow at night. Anybody else? No? Yeah, right? And then you get to a point where you can start moving some of that to onboard other people. Is anybody in that boat where they're ready to start sliding some of that? Okay, awesome. Any of you online? I'm watching you. Okay. So you get to a point where you recognize that it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to constantly be a workhorse. You can sit like Elijah did and say, this is when I work, and then this is when I'm done. And it's coaches like Mark LeBlanc who help you understand that that actually is possible. I know it's hard to see it that way. I know it's very hard to see it that way because you're so busy managing everything. But the greatest tool that I use Mark for in my business is to help me understand how to be clear, how to be defined, how to be intentional, deliberate, and cohesive in what I'm doing in my business. It makes me feel like I have more control than I do. How many of you want to feel like you have more control in your business? Anybody? Chuck Blakeman said it last year best. He said, is your business running you, or are you running your business? And that was an eye-opener for me in acknowledging that I needed to spend more time working with Mark, which I'm honored and grateful to have been able to do. So I work with Mark as a private client. I've also had the opportunity to attend his Achievers Circle. Do we have any Achievers Circle alumni in here? Awesome. In the room? Okay, awesome. Virtually as well. The Achievers Circle is a intensive mastermind weekend where you are workshopping your business, your profit centers of your business, where you're going to be moving with intent, and doing so with a blueprint and a timeline. It is incredibly useful, and I think many of us can agree that it's something that many of us attend annually to help kind of revitalize our business. At this time, I want to bring up Laura and I want to bring up Allison. I want you two to come on up and share some of the ways that you two have worked with Mark. So come on up. You've got a microphone over here. I will socially distance from over here. I wanted to also share that Mark is a wealth of knowledge and a resource when it comes to knowing the layers of your business that you don't need to be doing anymore. And for those of you who are in that position, I encourage you to reach out to Mark, sit down and talk to him for a 30-minute coffee chat to learn more about how he can help support you. Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me? Yay. I had the honor of attending a coffee break with Mark. That was my first introduction to him. And right away, from the moment that I got on screen with him, I knew I was in greatness. Not only kindness, but knowledge and true care for what my vision was. And that was really special. I felt like not only was he my favorite uncle, but also my dad that was, going to keep me accountable. So, it's just such a beautiful thing to, within 5 minutes, know that. And then I had the honor of doing the Table of 12 workshop with him, which blew me away. It was jam-packed with great information about running your business, and it was fun, interactive, and I walked away with tons of notes. And my head from that was sort of like, if you remember the character from Peanuts, Pigpen. That's how my head was. It was just full of this mess of ideas. And I followed up with a coaching call with him, and he took that mess of ideas that was swirling in my head and laid out with me. It wasn't like he did it with me, laid out a path that was clean. Pigpen got cleaned up. So my brain felt much more organized and succinct, and every interaction I've had with him, I've just wanted it to continue, because not only is he knowledgeable, but he's fun to talk to. He has great stories, and he is just such an asset to this community. And I could go on, but I highly recommend Mark LeBlanc for anything.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Allison, you want to come on up, girl? Absolutely. I agree. And I think that's the piece that I'm absorbing from 2021 and JUMPSTART specifically, is to have more grace about who we are and what we're doing and how we're reinventing ourselves. And Mark certainly is a catalyst for that.
Thank you. So, like many other people, in April of 2020, I got laid off my job as a practice manager. And I was ready at that point to jump into full-time coaching and consulting. And so when my boss was like, we're just going to have to cut that cord for a little while. Are you going to be okay? And I was like, yep. And I went home and I popped a bottle of champagne and I celebrated because I was so excited to work on my business. And so I put my head down and we were talking about this yesterday. I hedgehogged for 3 straight months. Like, I didn't breathe. I was just running. And I was able to accomplish a lot in that time, but I was starting to get really, really tired. And so Vanessa actually gifted me a coffee chat with Mark. And I've heard so much about this man, and I was like excited to meet him and hear with him. And it was a 35-minute conversation. We ended up spending an hour. And he was like, congratulations on what you've been able to accomplish. And I want you to know you don't have to do that for the rest of your career. So you don't have to take your foot off the gas, but you also don't have to be flooring it the whole time. And for me, as a young, new entrepreneur who had a lot of fire, a lot of spirit, it was like a big sigh of relief for me, because I recognized that I could still be successful without killing myself. And so he invited me to the Table of 12, and I had 300 pages of notes that day. And it felt like for the first time I was getting clarity on, I don't have to do everything, and I don't have to do it right now, and I'm going to be okay, and I'm still going to be successful. And it was incredible that this person could kind of have this conversation with me that could fill me with so much trust, confidence, and peace, and just make me feel like I was on the right path. So I really appreciate that, and I would love to have more, what did you call it, Markisms? Markisms. Yeah. There's so many, and they just stick with you in your business. So incredible opportunity that I was able to have thanks to Vanessa, and it was life-changing. So thank you, Mark.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you to Mark LeBlanc for all that you've done. Thank you for joining us virtually for your program. And thank you for all the things that you do to inspire our profession and those of us who are working to inspire and influence the profession. If any of you have any questions about what it's like to work with Mark LeBlanc, find any of us who just raised our hands. We'd be more than happy to share with you how truly monumental it is to be able to sit and work with him and to feel like you have clarity around your brand. So thank you so much. Find Mark LeBlanc, find a time to just meet with him privately, share with him what your goals are. He is a wealth of knowledge. So much love to you, Mark LeBlanc. You're amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for your support of JUMPSTART 2021. So thank you, Mark. We appreciate you.